I'd always dreamed of visiting Cambodia, and finally, the day arrived. As our bus rolled closer to Angkor Wat, my heart started to race. My hands were trembling a little as I held my small backpack. Inside, I had notebooks, pens, and a tiny camera I'd saved up for. When the bus finally stopped and I stepped out, the warm sun hit my face. A gentle breeze rustled my hair, and I looked up. I could hardly believe my eyes. The towers of Angkor Wat rose like giants into the sky. Their reflection mirrored perfectly in the calm water surrounding the temple. I remember reading in my English book that it was one of the largest religious monuments in the world, but reading about it was nothing compared to this. I whispered softly to myself, "Wow, it's so beautiful," practicing my English pronunciation. I felt so proud just saying the words. Walking along the wide stone pathway, I started noticing the details carved into the walls. There were tiny dancers frozen in elegant poses, kings and queens with kind faces, warriors holding swords, and elephants that looked like they could step right out of the stone. Every single carving told a story. I tried to imagine the people who built this place, working day and night under the hot sun, lifting stones heavier than anything I'd ever seen, all to create something that would last for centuries. I felt so small but incredibly inspired. It was like the temple itself was teaching me a lesson about patience, effort, and dedication. I pulled out my notebook and started sketching the towers, the water, the lotus flowers floating on the surface, and the intricate patterns on the walls. My hands shook a little with excitement and awe. Sometimes I'd look up and practice more English phrases. The temple is big. The carvings are beautiful. I like the water. I see flowers. I smiled. I knew then that learning English could happen anywhere, even while exploring a new country. The air was full of life. Birds flew overhead, monkeys played near the ancient walls, and tourists from all over the world were speaking different languages. I greeted some of them with my practiced words, "Hello, how are you?" and felt a rush of pride when someone smiled back. It made me think about how language connects us, even when we come from faraway places. Walking deeper into the temple, I decided to climb the steep steps to the top. My legs were shaking, but my heart was racing with pure excitement. When I finally reached the top, the view just took my breath away. An endless green forest stretched out as far as I could see, with smaller temples scattered below like toys. The setting sun reflected on the water, making everything glow golden. I whispered, "This is a dream." Practicing the word dream, I imagined telling my family all about it. I'd tell them how the steps were so steep, the towers were so tall, and the carvings told the most amazing stories. I laughed when a little lizard ran across the stone path in front of me and tried to snap a quick picture before it disappeared. I could feel the soft wind on my face, the warmth of the sun, and smell the mix of flowers and damp earth. I felt so peaceful, so happy, and so full of life. I started asking my guide questions, learning new English words like ancient, monument, culture, tradition, heritage, and reflection. I'd repeat them softly after him, practicing the pronunciation and imagining how I'd explain them to my friends back at school. I began to notice the tiniest details: insects crawling on the carvings, shadows moving across the walls as the sun shifted, the sound of water dripping into the lotus ponds. Each detail made me feel closer to the temple, like I could hear the whispers of people who walked here centuries ago. I imagined kings praying, monks meditating, and children laughing. I practiced more sentences. The king is tall, the monk is kind, the temple is old, the water is clear. Speaking English was becoming part of my adventure. I thought about how lucky I was to be able to travel, to see history with my own eyes, to learn new words, and to practice them while exploring. Later, I sat near the water's edge and dipped my fingers in to feel the coolness. Fish swam slowly by, lotus flowers floated gracefully, and I saw my own reflection smiling back at me. I whispered, "I am happy, I am lucky," practicing again. I started to imagine writing a story about this day. The story of a young girl who traveled the world, saw incredible places, and learned words and stories along the way. I promised myself I'd come back, maybe at sunrise when the light is soft and golden, to experience the temple in a different way. I looked at the other tourists. Some were speaking English, some Spanish, some Japanese. I smiled, realizing that everyone here was learning, exploring, and sharing stories in their own way. I greeted a child from another country. "Hello, my name is Liza. What is your name?" The child smiled and replied, "I am Tom." I laughed. I could actually communicate with someone who spoke a different language. The hours flew by. The sun moved across the sky, changing the colors of the stones, the water, and the flowers. I kept taking notes, drawing, and speaking English to myself, learning words like tower, wall, carving, forest, history, adventure, and friend. I felt so proud of myself, even when I made mistakes, because every word, every step, and every observation was part of my learning journey. As it was time to leave, the sky turned orange, pink, and purple. The sun dipped behind the towers, making the entire temple glow like something out of a fairy tale. I felt a mix of happiness and sadness, happy for the experience. Sad to leave, but excited to tell everyone about it. I whispered softly, "I will never forget this day. I will remember forever." I held my notebook close to my chest. It was more than just paper and words. It was a memory, a story, a piece of my heart. On the bus ride back, I kept practicing my new English words, laughing at myself sometimes. I thought about the carvings, the towers, the water, the monkeys, the people, the stories, and all the lessons I had learned. Visiting Angkor Wat wasn't just a sightseeing trip. It was an adventure in learning, exploring, speaking, observing, drawing, imagining, and dreaming. Looking back one last time at the beautiful towers, I felt this warm, happy feeling spread through me. Traveling and learning can happen at the same time. Every step, every sight, every sound is a chance to explore, understand, and grow. I knew this adventure wasn't over. It was just the beginning of many more journeys, many more stories, and many more dreams to follow. I smiled and whispered, "Thank you, Angkor Wat, for teaching me so much. I know I'll carry this memory with me forever. Thank you for sharing this journey with me." Don't forget to follow for more adventures.